So let me just start off by saying when I first purchased this car, I had no intention of spending as much as I did at all.
And it definitely did not look like this whenever I first bought it, and even getting it to this point was more than I thought it would be.
And there are ways to save money, which you might learn a little bit about in this video. But the first thing that needs done to even start this journey is purchasing the car.
And back in 2021, when I had purchased this car, it was the outstanding amount of $7,000.
And it was actually listed for $7,700, but he gave me a discount to $7,000 because there was a boost leak. Which, thinking about it now, I probably should have had more money taken off of it because it could have been something bigger.
And for $7,000, we did not get a lot of these parts that you see on the car today.
And like I said, the reason that we did get a discount was because there was a boost leak on the car. So let's actually take the car out for this next part because it is related to what we're going to be doing right now. After putting the coilovers on my car, it's gotten so low that I'm still learning how to angle correctly. And my driveway is very steep, so it gives me some really good practice for what it would be like going over different bumps and stuff. Now, as you may have gotten from me hinting at, the next thing that we have to discuss is insurance. So the way that I'm able to drive this on the road right now is, of course, from insurance. Man, the turbo on this thing, I can never get over the turbo. Let's see if we can get a good clip. I really hope that the camera can pick it up because inside the cabin this thing sounds mean. But I started out in 2021 paying $90 a month to insure this vehicle. Then the following year it dropped down to $75. And the most current price that I can remember that I've been paying for a couple months now is only $53 for full coverage. And now part of the reason it does get cheaper like that is because I believe the car is not as expensive in Kelley Blue Book value, so if I did total it or something, the insurance company's not having to pay me out a ton of money even after everything I did to the car, but it helps my insurance rate to be a lot lower. Now something that can make a car a lot more expensive is maintenance. Unscheduled, scheduled, mostly unscheduled. And after hearing all the stuff about your head gasket blowing up, the turbo exploding, and all this stuff with WRXs, I was getting a little nervous, I'll be honest.
But if we pop the hood here quick, I've had to do pretty bare bones maintenance to this thing. I have gone through, this is my third or fourth battery or something. I did have to replace the spark plugs, and there was one ignition coil that one of the clips had broken off of, so that needed replaced.
And it was creating a misfire because it wasn't clipped in the whole way, and with my master mechanic first time working on a car really skills, I swapped it from one cell to the next, and it followed it, and I said, I'm a genius.
But we did have to do that. I did swap out this alternator, and I did have to replace the serpentine belt and the AC belt.
But to be honest with you, it's really just been oil changes, swapping fluids whenever they're due. And for owning this car for 3 years, I mean, it's really not that expensive to swap those parts out. And I also think you can save yourself a lot of money by doing it yourself like I did. I did everything myself whenever I was getting it done. It did take a lot of research on the forums and watching YouTube videos and just seeing what other people's issues were that they were having for me to be able to fix some of these things. But I definitely think that time spent was worth not taking it to like a shop or something, because sometimes it can get a little bit expensive if maybe they don't know what the exact issue is. And that also gives a point to the WRX boys because the community, since these cars are more easily accessible, it makes it so there's a lot more people in the community, so whenever you do run into issues, you can get some help.
Now next up, of course, is what you actually want to spend your money on, instead of doing different random repairs when things act up. And this car is actually pretty heavily modified, but not in just a straight up performance way.
So I do have a separate video where I do break down every single thing that I bought for this car and how much it cost. But to save some time, we're just gonna quickly run through everything that's done to it, and I'll just put the total at the end.
So we have got these spec tuning headlights, these smoke turn signals. We got these Sparco wheels wrapped in these Cooper tires, and we recently just put a big brake kit on it. We are running Fortune Auto 510 series coilovers.
And they're overvalved 50%, so they're actually really only meant for the track, but surprisingly, they're pretty comfortable.
We got my Facebook Marketplace steal of a STI trunk, and it came with the parent inserts in it.
We've got this strafe design rear diffuser, and you can kind of see my backup camera a little bit in there.
And then in the engine bay, we are running everything that we need, so that way this car can be stage 2 tuned, which I believe is intake, downpipe.
I feel like there's one more thing that I can't remember.
We do have 15% tint the whole way around with this strip.
And we have this 4-inch hood scoop that I found on eBay and painted. It's really not that good. I think it does need redone, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep this one or buy one that more suits this body style.
We have got this Cobb shift knob.
my Cobb access port, a dash cam, and the last thing in this interior is just my Android Auto Apple CarPlay head unit. And I know I say it in like every single video, but you have to get one of these. It's actually crazy. The fact that my phone can now connect to the car, play music, run maps, take phone calls, like it just makes certain functions of driving this car so good that I would not give it up. And we also did upgrade the speakers on all 4 doors. And I did almost forget that we have 2 12-inch subs in the back. And I'm really hoping that sometime soon I can build a box for it. I just haven't gotten around to it, but it definitely needs a new box so that way it doesn't take up the entire trunk. I think 2 is a little bit too much. So whenever I add up the cost of all those, it kind of makes me think that maybe I wasted my money.
No, I think it was definitely worth it because it would not look like this if it wasn't for all that time and money spent to get to the spot. And I'll be honest, take a look at this car here right now and look at this picture of what it looked like when I first bought it. I definitely think we made a lot of good changes to it for the better.
And as some people have said on one of the shorts that I posted about this, it's an investment. Now the gas and daily ability can fluctuate a lot for people, so I'll just kind of give some sort of reference frame for what it was like for me. So whenever I worked at my old job, I probably only drove like 40 miles a day during the week. And then occasionally on the weekends, it would be about the same thing just because the gym that I would go to was a little bit past it, so I kind of already have to do that and then come back, whereas whenever I went to work, I'd go to work, then go out further to the gym and then come home. But then there were occasions where sometimes on the weekend I would drive about 180, 200 miles back and forth to New Jersey because that's where my girlfriend lives. And if I wasn't traveling like that, I could probably get 12 to 14 days out of one gas tank. And this car is tuned on 93, so some people could tune their car on 91, maybe save a couple bucks. I just picked 93 because I figured why not have it tuned on the best possible fuel. And I guess it's been working good since we're almost at 160,000 miles. So like 10 to 12 days if I was just doing that 40 miles back and forth. It's like 400 to 500 miles, depending on how you drive the car. I wouldn't always rip it, but definitely coming home sometimes from the gym, I would take it for a little rip. And like the suspension and stuff on this car really isn't bad at all for daily driving. I think I actually did like my lowering springs a lot on this car because honestly, it gave you a pretty good stance and it didn't affect drivability really at all. It's actually pretty comfortable with the H&R lowering springs that I had on it, but now it has Fortunato coilovers and those are definitely a lot rougher. I don't know if I would want to daily drive it with those. I mean, being a 4-cylinder, it can't really eat through gas unless you're spooling up that turbo all the time, so if you're not getting into boost a lot, it's just gonna consume gas like any other 4-cylinder would. But if you saw my video where I talked about daily driving this car for 3 years, it's really not that bad. I would still do it now. These track-oriented coilovers do make it a little rougher, but I definitely think I could do it because it's worth it getting to drive this around every day. Maybe I'm like a little delusional or something. One gripe that my dad says he has with this car, because sometimes he'll take it, is this cup holder only fits like a soda can. And this technology right here, I was actually blown away by it. But you can't really fit that big of a cup into here either. And I guess he's taking like an industrial sized coffee mug or something because it doesn't fit in either of those cup holders.
But daily drivability, not bad at all. The ride isn't harsh, gas is pretty cheap, insurance is pretty cheap. I mean, it's making it sound like a pretty good buy.
And I know my experience isn't gonna be like everybody else's. Maybe I just got lucky. Maybe I followed the wise words of the car's gonna treat you as well as you treat it. And I've done lots of maintenance to this thing, lots of upgraded parts, so it's treated me pretty well because of that.
And I guess one of the last things would just be if you're ever trying to sell this car, it is gonna depreciate.
These model years have probably got to the point where they can't really get any lower, and if anything, it might go up for cleaner examples.
But that may or may not be true based on what mods you have done to it.
But I feel like for the 02 to 07s, they're definitely either at the tail end or already have hit the bottom of their depreciation and they're kind of just gonna sit there probably, or start going up as they become more sought after because everybody else blew theirs up. But I'm sure that the models that come after that are still gonna continue to depreciate, so that is something to think about. They do kind of hold their value a little bit better just because it is either a WRX or an STI will hold its value the best.
But I really don't see very many 2002 WRXs on the road, so I feel like this car, I could definitely get a good chunk back of what I spent on it, but not as much as I spent overall on the car and the value of the car.
And you know what? That's just what comes with modifying the car, and I don't really have any intentions to sell it, and I like making the car my own.
But guys, that is the real cost of owning a car like this. A 2002 Subaru WRX with all these mods, the different maintenance things, how much I purchased it for, and how much it cost to keep it running on the road every month.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I know I like to see when people post stuff like this and you can see how much they spent on their car, all the different mods they did and how much they cost, because I'm sure it adds up quickly after you've had the car for a couple of years. You kind of lose track of how much money you have dumped into it. Thank you guys so much for watching. like, dislike, comment, subscribe.
And stick around for more WRX content and maybe another car coming in the future. We'll see.
Peace!